Hey everyone, in this video, we'll uncover the most valuable Abraham Lincoln steel penny you should be on the lookout for. We'll break down what makes these Lincoln steel pennies so special, how much they're worth in today's market, and what you need to know to sell them successfully at auction. So let's get started. First up, the 1943 Lincoln steel penny without a mint. Mark is one of the most recognizable and historically important coins ever produced in the United States. Struck during the height of World War II. This coin stands apart from all other wheat pennies because it was made from zinc-coated steel instead of the usual copper, even in extra fine condition with some scratches. A 1943 steel penny remains a fascinating collectible, offering a glimpse into a unique moment in American history when copper was urgently needed for wartime supplies. In extra fine condition, most of the design details of this steel cent remain clear and sharp despite the presence of light wear and minor surface marks. And the unusual metallic appearance makes it instantly recognizable to collectors and beginners alike. In 1943, the U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of steel cents, and the Philadelphia Mint, which issued the no-mint mark version, struck the majority of them. Although the 1943 steel penny is common in worn condition, finding examples in extra fine condition with only minor scratches is becoming more difficult as steel cents tend to rust, corrode, or lose their original zinc coating over time. Coins preserved with clean surfaces, visible details, and only light scratches are considered better grade examples and are appreciated for retaining both historical value and visual appeal. Even with some marks and imperfections, an extra fine 1943 steel penny remains desirable because it shows the design clearly and presents well in a collection. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's portrait remains well defined, with sharp lines visible around the cheek, jaw, and hair. The inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1943 are all crisp and easy to read. The absence of a mint mark below the date confirms its Philadelphia origin. The light scratches on the surface are typical of steel cents that saw limited circulation before being collected. These marks do not significantly reduce the clarity of the design and are consistent with an extra fine grade, where only light wear from brief circulation is permitted. The steel composition gives the coin a distinctive silvery gray color, setting it apart from the copper pennies that preceded and followed it. The reverse of the coin displays the wheat ears design created by Victor D. Brenner. The words "1 cent" and "United States of America" are bold and legible, framed by two wheat stalks that still show individual grain lines and structure. The motto "E pluribus unum" along the upper rim remains clear, although very slight where may appear on the highest tips of the wheat ears. The scratches on the reverse are minor and typical of circulated steel cents, but do not obscure any major design elements. In extra fine condition, the original zinc coating may still be present, giving the coin a cleaner surface appearance compared to lower grade examples that often suffer from rust or corrosion. In today's market, a 1943 steel penny without a mint mark in extra fine condition with some scratches generally sells for around $1,500, depending on the severity of the marks, the brightness of the original zinc coating, and the overall eye appeal. Coins with sharp details and minimal corrosion tend to sell higher, while those with more obvious scratches or darker surfaces may sell closer to the lower end of the range. Although not rare, the 1943 steel penny remains one of the most popular collectible coins in the United States. Due to its unique composition and wartime origin, it is important not to attempt cleaning a steel penny, especially one in extra fine condition. Cleaning can remove the zinc coating, expose the steel underneath, and create new scratches, all of which reduce the coin's value. Steel cents are particularly sensitive to improper cleaning methods, and even minor contact with harsh materials can damage the surface. Collectors value original surfaces even with light scratches because they reflect the coin's authentic history. The presence of these scratches does not detract from the coin's significance, but instead highlights the coin's age and the journey it has taken through circulation. The historical background of the 1943 penny adds immense interest to this coin. During World War II, copper was urgently needed for ammunition, shell casings, and other essential military equipment. As a result, the U.S. Mint temporarily switched to steel coated with zinc to conserve copper for the war effort. This one-year change created the famous steel penny, a design departure that became a symbol of national sacrifice and wartime resourcefulness. Even decades later, holding a 1943 steel penny connects collectors to that period, representing the lengths to which the nation went to support the war. Collectors also value this coin for educational reasons. The 1943 steel penny is frequently used to teach beginners about minting materials, wartime history, and the importance of composition changes. It also helps new collectors understand how condition affects pricing, since steel pennies tend to rust or discolor easily, making well-preserved examples more desirable. An extra-fine 1943 steel penny with minor scratches offers a good balance of quality and affordability, making it an excellent reference coin for learning about mid-20th century U.S. currency. Next up, the 1943 Lincoln steel penny with D mint. Mark is one of the most distinctive and historically important coins produced during World War II, minted in Denver. This coin stands out not only because of its unique steel composition, but also because it represents the tremendous wartime adjustments made by the United States Mint. In fine condition with some scratches, the coin still retains a clear and recognizable design, although it shows obvious signs of circulation. Even with wear and surface marks, this steel penny remains highly collectible due to its history, its material, and its connection to the wartime economy that shaped American life in the early 1940s. The year 1943 marked the only time the U.S. Mint produced Lincoln cents, made from zinc-coated steel instead of copper, with copper needed urgently for ammunition and military equipment. The Mint temporarily shifted to steel to conserve essential materials. This change created the famous steel penny, an unusual and instantly recognizable coin with a silvery gray appearance, instead of the traditional reddish-brown color of copper wheat cents. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of these coins, all bearing the small D mint mark beneath the date, although common in general. Examples in fine condition that have survived without rust or deep corrosion are increasingly sought after, especially those that still show their original protective zinc coating, despite the presence of scratches and moderate wear. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's portrait is still clear, though noticeably worn. In fine condition, the highest points of his cheek, jawline, and hair show flattening from circulation. The inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1943 remain readable, though the letters may appear slightly softened from wear. The D mint mark below the date is still visible and crisp enough to easily identify the Denver origin of the coin. The surface shows scratches, which are typical for steel cents because the zinc coating was thin and prone to marking. These scratches do not significantly diminish the collectible value for a coin graded fine, as they are expected signs of handling and genuine circulation. Turning to the reverse, the wheat ears design remains identifiable, though the fine lines inside the wheat stalks show noticeable wear. In fine condition, the overall outlines and shape of the wheat ears remain intact, but the delicate details at the tips and centers are softened. The inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America are bold and easy to read, while the motto E pluribus unum across the upper rim is also clear, though slightly worn. Scratches on the reverse are common, as the fields of steel cents tend to collect marks easily. These surface imperfections reflect the coin's history and circulation and are typical for pieces that have survived more than 80 years without rusting or corroding away. In today's market, a 1943D steel penny in fine condition with some scratches typically sells for around $20,000, depending on the brightness of the surface, the sharpness of the date and mint mark, and the overall eye appeal. Coins that retain more of their original zinc coating often command higher prices, while darker or more heavily scratched examples fall toward the lower end of the range. Although this coin is not rare in this condition, its unique composition and wartime origin continue to make it one of the most popular and widely collected. Lincoln cents. Collectors strongly advise against cleaning steel pennies, especially those already in fine condition. Although scratches may tempt some collectors to try removing marks or brighten the surface, cleaning a steel coin can quickly damage the thin zinc plating and expose the raw steel beneath, which can lead to rapid rusting. Even minor attempts to remove dirt or stains can create new scratches that further reduce the coin's value. In its natural, unaltered state, even with visible marks, the coin maintains authenticity and preserves its historical integrity. The scratches and wear patterns on the 1943D penny help tell the story of its life in circulation during a challenging period in American history. Part of the charm of this steel penny lies in the wartime background behind its creation. In 1943, the United States was fully mobilized for World War II, and copper was an essential material used to produce shell casings, telephone wire, and countless other military supplies. In response to the enormous demand, the U.S. Mint shifted away from copper for 1 year, resulting in the production of the steel cent. This change was temporary, but it left a lasting legacy. The steel penny quickly became a symbol of national sacrifice and ingenuity, reminding Americans of the resourcefulness required during wartime. Even today, holding a 1943D steel penny offers a connection to that era and serves as a visible reminder of the lengths to which the nation went to support the war effort. Collectors also prize this coin for educational reasons. It serves as an excellent example of how composition, minting decisions, and historical events influence coinage. The steel penny illustrates how the U.S. Mint adapted to wartime conditions and how those decisions affect the durability and appearance of coins decades later. A fine condition 1943D penny with scratches shows beginners the real-world effects of circulation and how grades are determined based on wear, detail loss, and surface marks. Next up, the 1950 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is an excellent example of mid-20th century American coinage. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, even in very fine condition with some scratches, this coin remains an important collectible for enthusiasts who appreciate the history, design, and enduring popularity of the Lincoln cent series. The very fine grade indicates light wear on the highest points of the design, while most of the coin's details are still clear and sharp. Minor scratches across the obverse or reverse slightly affect visual appeal, but they do not compromise the coin's historical significance or its value as part of a complete Philadelphia minted Lincoln series. The Philadelphia Mint produced a substantial number of Lincoln cents in 1950. With an estimated 1.3 billion coins struck that year. While the mintage was high, coins that have survived in very fine condition are sought after by collectors because they retain much of their original detail. In very fine examples, Lincoln's facial features, hair, and coat folds remain distinguishable, while only light wear is visible on the highest points. The date and inscriptions are fully readable, making this coin both functional for study and visually appealing for a collection. The scratches present on the surface reflect typical circulation or handling, but do not prevent the coin from being considered a solid example of its type. In today's market, a 1950 Lincoln Wheat penny without a mint mark, in very fine condition with some scratches, typically sells for around $1.700, depending on the visibility of the date and overall eye appeal. Coins with minimal scratches or cleaner surfaces may command slightly higher prices, while those with heavier marks may fall toward the lower end of the range. Although modest in financial value, this coin is important for collectors completing a Philadelphia series or those seeking representative examples of post-war Lincoln cents. It is crucial not to attempt cleaning the coin, even to remove minor scratches, as improper cleaning can damage the surface, create new scratches, or remove natural patina, all of which reduce collector value. Collectors generally prefer coins in their original, unaltered state because the wear and surface marks tell the story of the coin's circulation. The scratches on a 1950 penny in very fine condition are part of its history, showing that it has survived decades of handling and exchange while retaining most of its design detail. The historical context of the 1950 penny enhances its appeal. Circulating in the early post-war period, this coin was part of everyday American life during a time of economic growth, suburban expansion, and increased consumer activity. Pennies like this were used for daily purchases, transportation, and savings, making them an essential component of mid-century commerce. The very fine condition suggests that this coin was lightly circulated or preserved carefully, providing collectors with a tangible link to life in the United States during the 1950s. Collectors also value coins like this for educational purposes. A 1950 penny in very fine condition with scratches demonstrates the effects of circulation and handling over time, helping beginners understand how coin grading works and the relationship between condition and value. It also shows the importance of mint marks, allowing collectors to differentiate between Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco issues. Even with minor imperfections, this coin provides clear detail for study, reference, and display, making it both instructive and collectible. Next up, the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a noteworthy example of mid-20th century American coinage, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, even in fine condition with some scratches. This coin retains collectible value because it represents both the historical context of its era and the enduring appeal of the Lincoln cent series. The fine grade indicates that Lincoln's portrait and other design elements are worn but still identifiable, and that while minor scratches and marks may be present, the coin maintains overall integrity. Collectors appreciate these pennies for their combination of accessibility, history, and visual reference to pre-war circulation. The Philadelphia Mint produced a significant number of Lincoln cents in 1941, with an estimated 1.2 billion coins struck. While heavily circulated examples are common, coins in fine condition that have survived with minimal damage are more desirable, as they retain a majority of the original design details. In fine condition, Lincoln's cheek, jawline, and hair show moderate wear, but his overall profile remains clear. The inscriptions "In God We Trust" across the top Liberty on the left and the date 1941 on the right are all legible, allowing collectors to accurately identify the coin. The minor scratches present on the coin reflect decades of handling and circulation, but do not obscure the essential details necessary for study or collection. In today's market, a 1941 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in fine condition with some scratches generally sells for around $1,000, depending on the overall eye appeal, the clarity of the date, and the severity of scratches. Coins with sharper details and minimal surface marks may command slightly higher prices, while those with heavier scratches or more pronounced wear may sell closer to the lower end of the range. Although modest in monetary value, this coin is highly accessible and remains a key addition for collectors completing a Philadelphia minted Lincoln cent series or studying pre-war wheat pennies. It's important not to attempt cleaning the coin to remove scratches or dirt, as improper cleaning can damage the surface, remove natural patina, and create new scratches, all of which reduce the coin's value. Collectors generally prefer coins in their original, unaltered state because even scratches and wear contribute to the coin's history. The scratches on a 1941 penny reflect decades of circulation, handling, and exchange, giving the coin authenticity and a tangible connection to its era. The historical context of the 1941 penny adds to its appeal. Circulating during the years leading up to America's entry into World War II, this coin played a role in daily life during a period of economic recovery from the Great Depression. Pennies like this were used for groceries, transportation, and everyday transactions, making them a vital part of mid-20th century commerce. The fine condition of this example suggests it was moderately circulated but preserved reasonably well, providing a direct link to life in America during the early 1940s. Collectors also value this coin for educational purposes. A 1941 penny in fine condition with scratches helps illustrate how circulation and handling affect coin surfaces over time. It provides a practical example of grading, showing how wear, detail loss, and surface imperfections influence value. The coin also demonstrates the importance of mint marks, allowing collectors to distinguish Philadelphia issues from those minted in Denver or San Francisco. Even with minor scratches, this coin offers clear design elements for study, reference, and display overall. The 1941 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in fine condition with some scratches is a historically significant and collectible coin. Its current market value generally ranges from 30 cents to $1, reflecting its fine grade, moderate wear, and Philadelphia mintage. Despite scratches, the coin retains essential design features and provides a clear connection to pre-war America and the legacy of Abraham Lincoln on U.S. currency. Even imperfect examples, like this one, continue to be appreciated for their historical, educational, and collectible significance, making them a meaningful addition to any Lincoln wheat penny collection. Next up, the 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is one of the final examples of the Wheat Ear series. Produced at the Philadelphia Mint just before the Lincoln Memorial reverse replaced the wheat design in 1959, even in extra fine condition with some scratches. This coin remains a valuable collectible for numismatists because it captures the closing chapter of a classic and long-running coinage design. The extra fine grade indicates that most of the coin's original details are still sharp and well preserved, with only light wear on the highest points. Minor scratches and surface imperfections are present, but do not significantly diminish its appeal or historical significance. In 1958, the Philadelphia Mint produced a substantial number of Lincoln cents, striking approximately 1.3 billion coins. While these coins are relatively common, surviving examples in extra fine condition are more desirable because they retain the majority of their original design elements. On an extra fine coin, Lincoln's facial features, hair, and coat folds remain sharp, and the date and inscriptions are clear and easy to read. The scratches on the surface are typical for a coin that has circulated lightly and been handled over time, and they do not interfere with the overall clarity or collectible value of the coin. In today's market, a 1958 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in extra fine condition with some scratches generally sells for around $100 to $200, depending on the overall eye appeal, surface brightness, and clarity of the date. Coins with fewer scratches or sharper detail may command higher prices, while those with more noticeable surface marks may fall toward the lower end of this range, although its monetary value is modest. This coin remains important for collectors completing a Philadelphia series or studying the last years of the wheat penny design. It is important not to attempt cleaning the coin. even to remove minor scratches, as improper cleaning can damage the surface, remove natural patina, and create additional marks that reduce collector value. Collectors generally prefer coins in their original, unaltered condition, because the light scratches and wear provide a record of circulation and historical authenticity. The scratches on this 1958 penny reflect decades of handling, exchange, and preservation, adding character and a tangible connection to its time period. The historical context of the 1958 penny adds depth to its appeal. Circulating during the late 1950s, this coin was part of everyday American life in a period of post-war growth, increased consumer spending, and expanding suburban communities. Pennies like this one were used for groceries, transportation, and savings, making them an essential part of daily commerce. The extra fine condition suggests that it was lightly circulated or carefully preserved, allowing collectors to see the coin's design in near original detail and providing a direct link to life in the United States during the final years of the wheat penny. Era collectors also find educational value in coins like this. A 1958 penny in extra fine condition with minor scratches demonstrates how coins circulate, how wear is assessed in grading, and how minor surface imperfections affect market value. The coin also illustrates the importance of mint marks and how Philadelphia coins differ from Denver and San Francisco issues. Even with scratches, this coin allows collectors to study Lincoln's portrait, the wheat ear design, and mid-20th century minting practices, making it both instructive and collectible overall. The 1958 Abraham Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark in extra fine condition with some scratches is a historically significant and collectible coin. Its current market value generally ranges from $100 to $200, reflecting its extra fine grade, minor wear, and Philadelphia mintage. Despite scratches, the coin retains all essential design features, connecting collectors to the final chapter of the wheat penny era and the plus enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln on U.S. currency. Even imperfect examples, like this one, continue to be valued for their historical, educational, and collectible significance, making them a meaningful addition to any comprehensive Lincoln wheat penny collection.